about it's, a, it's just about how the government kind of aided and abetted racists to continue to segregate their housing complexes and how that had an effect on the living situations of African Americans throughout the years,
Mm,
and which
yeah.
which obviously has its effects in the country now with what I'm saying with black people more in the inner cities, um, with not too many amenities and social services, and white people out in the suburbs. So it kind of talks about like the history of that and how we're still kind of feeling the effects, and it's crazy, bro. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah. Actually, I saw videos on that very situation dealing with New York. They was talking about how they brought like a lot of the projects, the housing projects and stuff like in Manhattan and other areas of New York City were actually designed for white people who were working in these areas. And as they realized more and more black people were owning property and starting to work in these areas, they figured it'd be easier to bring them in. You enjoy yourself over there, George?
But yeah, man, it's crazy. I want to know more about New York specifically because I know for a fact they was doing some crazy shit out here, dog. I know for a
Yeah,
fact.
there was what they was doing was to basically like how they do it now with like how the Clean Halls Project, NYPD circulating these housing projects and all of that as a way to constrict the movement the and over police black people in these areas. What they did was they reversed it as time went on and it started moving um old white families and stuff into the suburbs surrounding New York City, like Westchester, Long Island, all of that. And started moving people of color, mainly black people, specifically during these periods, more into these housing projects, promising you got like amenities taken care of and this and that and the third. But when it was actually just being, it was a form of control so that you know black people are spending more money without having anything to pass on, so they have less property to own as businesses and stuff like that. Because if you live in these areas, that's what you call it. You don't need to own all these things because you like you have your everything is conveniently located.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And one of the to your point, one of the not coolest, but like the weirdest. What was I about to say? I forgot what I was about to say. Hmm. Well, in any case, yeah. Oh, so when we talk about home ownership, so there
Yeah,
were ways where if you had a certain kind of loan that was insured by the FHA, you could pay back on your mortgage, and
yeah,
every monthly payment, you got a certain percent of equity in your home. So if you
okay,
decided to sell your home before you were able to pay off your mortgage, you
yeah,
still received a profit because you had equity.
yeah,
In cases for black people, when they even so first they were denied FHA loan insurance, but when they started getting it, they weren't allowed to get equity in the home. So if your house got foreclosed, you were literally left with nothing.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
So it was so hard for African American people to get ownership in their homes that like you literally like you have a 15-year mortgage and you
Yeah,
have to be consistent over 15 years to own that home. Feel me? And the monthly payments were so overpriced that like it's pretty much set up to fail.
mm,
One of the funny things that I found out though is that um so there was the myth that if African Americans moved into your neighborhood, the house value depreciated. But it was actually the opposite effect because the house value appreciated because African Americans would charge more for homes. But what they would do is, since like the general public pretty much thought that your house depreciated,
yeah,
they would pay black moms to push their strollers through white neighborhoods. They would play black people to roll through with their cars with the windows down and the radio blasting.
mm,
Um, and they would do all of this to give the illusion that black people were moving into their neighborhoods. And
yeah,
because the white people were so scared, they would sell their homes at a discounted price to these people. And then
yeah.
those people the realtors would turn around and sell it to black people at a higher price. Bro, there was a
That's
whole
crazy.
market for white fear, bro. Like, this is crazy.
That is crazy. That is smart, but also very.
It is smart, but like,
It's also very manipulative and conniving and so. dangerous to the other people that it affects.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I mean, this is the country that we made, capitalism. Everything's to turn a profit. It's not about it's not patriotism. That's what people confuse. People in this country confuse what patriotism is with nationalism, and then
Hmm.
they mask it with capitalism. That's
Yeah,
all.
bro. It's crazy. We have such a tattered history, man. Like, but anyway, are we
And on
starting? I
that
don't
note,
know. Nobody did the intro. Are we
George,
started?
yeah, George, you want to get us? You
Let's
want to
get us
start the
let's get
introduction?
it started,
That was
George.
a prelude. That was a
That's the
prelude to how we get
yes,
deep on this
hand.
podcast. But, George, you want to get it started? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure, I got you. Welcome to episode 30 of the Overthinking Hours podcast. We are back today. As you can see, there's only three of us. It's G back in the building. My brothers, introduce yourself.
We're the
Let them know who's here.
best. We're the best. Just want to say that. I think Mr. Walter is on mute. I ain't gonna hold you.
Huh? Mr. Walters is what?
Oh, he's not. He's not. Okay. Look like that for a minute.
No.
You already know, ladies and gentlemen, it's the dark skinned Poppy, Mr. Mayweather, Mr. Too Many Nicknames himself, the world boss, checking in.
Checking in. You already know it's just Ja. Like it's just me. Hey, it's just me.
No
What's
nicknames.
on the docket, George? What's the word?
So we're going to jump right into it with sports. We'll start there, go into the real world, and then we'll go into, I guess me and T can talk
I
about
hate
kind
when you
of
say that. Sports is also real world, bro. We're not playing e games. These are not e games. These are real people.
there's the differences though. And that's a completely different topic. So it's a way to break them up and group them
So
and
so we
gather
we
them.
could say sports and current events.
Current events, the real world, all the same thing in the end.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
Hey,
we're all living in the matrix at the end of the day, so
Hey, shit.
we don't really know what's going on.
see now
Uh,
that's true.
yeah,
That's facts.
yeah. See.
Hey,
So,
I ain't figure out how to fly yet, so the Matrix ain't doing his job correctly.
We gotta tap into the universe, bro. Just tap in.
so for the first topic on the doc schedule list, who was the NBA's best offensive player in your guys' minds?
Currently,
Currently, one of our co-hosts wanted
that's
to.
not named LeBron James, right?
Is he the best?
Yes. Not named LeBron James. The best offensive player is Nikola Jokic. Yes, I said it. Nikola Jokic.
I'm gonna play it safe here, and I'm gonna go with Kevin Durant.
That's what
I don't,
my
I
pick
don't
would
think it was.
my pick would either be James Harden or Kevin Durant. So
I'm going Nikola Jokic. Why?
You have to
Because
pick one, George.
he's a big man that does it. He's a big man that can do everything that anybody else in the league can do. Think about it.
Except
He can
play
he can
defense.
he can take people off the dribble. He can shoot the three.
Eh,
He is taking. He can shoot the three. He takes people off the
yes.
dribble. He can hit the fade. He can do everything. Anything your favorite player can do, he can do. He
Except
hits
play
his free
defense.
throws. Come on. And he averages crazy number of assists.
Honestly, can we
He's a
have
point.
this?
He's what? Wait, hold on. Sorry for interrupting you. But he's what that. What's that dude's name? That got the hybrid guard, the scoring guard, the low post guard, the jumping guard, all that. He's the what they call it, the point guard center. That's what he is. He's a point guard
I
center.
don't know if that was
I don't know if that was a category, but don't
Name.
bring homie up. Don't
I
bring
don't
homie up on this podcast.
But he does. He's one of those things that he calls him. Like he's the point scoring guard center. That's what he is.
Man, just combined like four of the topics in one.
That's
But
hey,
George,
that's what Jokic is. I don't know how to describe him, how that dude describes him, but he's that guy.
George, I need some context. Like, how did this conversation even come up? I'm assuming in the Twitter chat.
What do you mean? Wow.
Because
I didn't see it.
I don't know either. Just our co-host said he wanted to talk about it, so we're here
Oh,
talking
okay.
about it without him. Like
Did
He said something
was
about
did he text it in the group chat or something? I didn't see it.
yeah. He texted it in the
Yep.
group chat.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it, but I guess we're
So
talking about his topic without him. Good looks, Jared. Good looks.
Yeah, good looks, Jared.
so Ja, you're gonna defend KD. I'm gonna defend James Harden just for the sake of the topic and the conversation, and try to make this an intelligent sports productive convo. Okay.
KD can put the ball in the basket. That's
I'm with based on that. I'm with George on this because KD is not the playmaker James Harden is.
But however, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm more of a fair weather fan and a what have you done for me lately kind of guy. Because I watched KD like literally resurrect the Nets and beat the best team in the West. Like I don't know.
See,
They beat the Suns. They beat the Suns. KD didn't play the whole first quarter.
wait. To counter that though, to counter your point for that,
Not T. Not T.
It's the best team in the West.
to counter your point, I'm gonna use the same logic, but I'm gonna think about how KD's missed most of the season and he missed all last, and James Harden went on that 36 point per game season last year, and he came over to the Nets and he started
He
averaging.
did not score 36 points a game.
Yes, he did.
What is he talking about? We just look at him say that.
I'm 99% sure he did.
Can we pull up the stats for this? I don't think that was last season.
He did not score 36 for the season last year. What is he talking
I don't think I don't think James Harden averaged 36 last season.
36 is so many points, bro. You know how many points you have to score to average 36 over 82 games?
Hold on. I'm pulling it up right now. I'll pull it up right now.
Maybe that was the season before we averaged like 34 or 35 or something.
Bro,
I know it was a year.
That rounds up to 36.
MVP.
Bro, 36, bro. Come on.
I don't think
I kept crazy. I'm sorry. That was 18-19. He averaged 34.
Yeah,
36.
okay. I know I'm not bugging.
19-20 was 34, and then this year's around 25.
Okay, see, I know I wasn't bugging. I'm like, I don't think.
All right, so 2 seasons. See, as time goes on, we get older, we lose track of time. It felt like just last year he was averaging 36, carrying the Rockets on his back. That was the season. Chris Paul missed most of the season. Not most of it, but he kept going in and out of the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you just see the tear that James Harden's been on the last few seasons, and how it looks like his game only continues to get more polished and get better. He tries to introduce these fancy moves, the ones that we see him try. Some work, some don't, and I just feel like when it comes down to it, he's unguardable. I mean, KD is too. He's a 7-foot scorer, but it's just like you said. What have you done for me lately? With how much time KD's missed.
I don't feel like James Harden is unguardable. I just feel like a lot of players can't play defense.
I think
because like he's been locked up. When he's on tears, he's been locked up by some people before. Most notably, Dugan Dortz locked him up crazy at night.
Yeah, there are a couple of guys. There are a couple of guys who have modeled their game to be able to stop LeBron, and in that, they've been able to stop a couple of other superstars. Just off the top of my head, I can think of Lou Dort. I think of OG Anunoby. I think of Jerry and Grant, huh?
OG Anunoby stop who?
No, I'm saying they modeled their games like after quote unquote LeBron stopper. Like it's physically built, strong, can slide their feet.
Yeah.
Like that's you feel me? That's what they came into the league. Like scouts who were scouting them put that on their scouting reports. You know what I'm saying? But that it gave them more leverage against other defenders that nobody thought James Harden would be a thing 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, well, they knew he was great, but we didn't know that we'd have to stop him like from scoring 40 on our heads. You feel me?
Every single night? Okay.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I'll take that. I mean, I love James. I love watching James Harden play. Like, he's probably one of the craziest offensive games we've seen in the last 30 years. So, you know, it is what it is.
I mean, I also think of it like this though, because like I think we talked about it off. Well, when in Brockport, when many of us was in Brockport together, a topic came up: who's harder to guard? And people brought up Klay Thompson or Kyrie, or and and I think another part was like who's more dangerous. And I honestly think Klay Thompson is more dangerous. And people be like, Kyrie can dribble, take up the dribble, destroy
Okay,
your
but
knees and all
who's
that.
harder to
And I
guard
was
though?
like,
Who's
okay,
harder
but
to
Klay
guard?
Thompson can give you 63 on 12 dribbles. Who's the more dangerous man? I'm gonna go with Klay Thompson. I'm gonna take Klay every time. He doesn't need to. He barely needs to touch the ball to torch you. You know how dangerous that is. I would take a guy like him over a guy that needs to dribble 10, 15 times in order to get his shot off.
See, that's
That's
how I
just
know
me.
you haven't been watching Kyrie though.
No. I watch Kyrie. No, wait,
No. No,
hold
I'm
on.
not. No. Maybe in 3 years ago when we were in Brockport, that might have been the case. If you've been watching him this season, he does not need to dribble a lot to get to his spot.
No. I'm saying as an example because like James Harden, one of those guys that used to dribble a lot to get shots off.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured he's doing that to try and daze the eyes of the defender because in soccer we do that too. Like we do like step overs and stuff and body feints and stuff like that to try to subconsciously attack the mind of the defender. So I figured in basketball, all those dribble moves, the curl, the between the legs, I'm saying the cross, all that stuff is to daze the mind of the defender because you can fake and body feint off of all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I figured that's what guys like Kyrie and James Harden, since they're so good at dribbling, they use that to try and confuse the mind of defenders. But I also feel like at times that stifles your offense. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like guys like Klay Thompson,
Sometimes.
especially the way Clay can just torch any team in the league with minimum amount of touches. Like I think that's what makes a guy like that more dangerous than a guy like James Harden or Kyrie. Even though, like we love to see them play because the way they play is pretty. You know what I'm saying? It's easy on the eye as a watcher, as a consumer. But in terms of in-game play, that's just where I stand. As a guy that played sports growing up, including basketball.
We don't have to spend too much time on this.
We don't.
Um, but what I'll say is, I don't remember what I was about to say. But Kyrie, I love Kyrie. I love watching Kyrie. Um, I think you never answered the question. Who's harder to guard?
Oh, my fault. I brought it up even though we discussed it. I take Klay Thompson.
All right, next.
63 and three
Next.
quarters on 12
Okay, no.
dribbles.
Next.
Wait.
Next.
Going back to what T said earlier, how T said that they can't play defense nowadays. I know you didn't see this tweet earlier, obviously, Ja, but I don't know. T might have seen it. So Charles Oakley on a Sirius XM radio show, he said that it's not that they don't know how to play defense today; it's that they don't try on defense
Mm.
because like someone like I think he was talking down on Zion. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. He was talking down on like one of the young upcoming players who's big, and he was saying like he doesn't really bully the players as much as it looks like. It's just they think that there's someone right there behind them to help guard them in the paint. And a lot of times they don't try as much on defense, so that help isn't there, and they don't have as much help defense as they think there is.
I don't believe that. There's no way you could be watching Zion score 36 points a game on you, and you don't think that somebody could still be there to help you on defense.
No, I ain't gonna
They
lie.
drowning, bro.
I watched a lot of dudes try to guard Zion. That's a
Like
big body. That's a
Hey,
big body.
tell me, John, they're not drowning trying to guard this
That's a
man.
big
Like,
body.
Charles Oakley's becoming an old head, all right? He got kicked out of the Garden. He don't respect the game no
But
more.
I do think that a lot of guys don't try on defense, but that's mainly because the defensive schemes that are working now in the NBA it's the help defense scheme. It's if I get beat on a rotation, somebody's coming to help one pass away, and we're all rotating.
Yeah.
And the teams that do it well have good defensive ratings. The teams who don't do it well have bad defensive ratings. Um, the a good example would be the Knicks. The Knicks are great at rotating. They don't have really a solid stand up defender, like somebody who's gonna stand in front of you and really stop you from scoring the ball. But
mm-hmm.
they have a really good defensive scheme. Like if you watch their rotation, they must do a lot of it because it's rare that you see the Knicks in a broken rotation. So do guys really try on defense? Maybe not, but that's maybe because the data is saying that like if I got a hand in Kyrie's face, he's gonna make it. So what's the point of me even expending emotional energy to get a hand up there? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm gonna really try if I have pride. You know what I'm saying? If I have pride in my defense, I'm gonna sit down and try to make it as hard as possible. But if you see these dudes play now, even Chris Paul against the Knicks today, he was guarding the shit out of him. He was just get into his spot. And that's what it is now. Get into your spot and get in your shot. Once you get to your spot,
Yeah.
the mind turns off and the bell's going into the bucket. So
And I think I made an error in what I said there because I heard more dangerous, but harder to guard is definitely Kyrie. Like, but I apologize. I was
thank
thinking
you.
more dangerous. I think Klay Thompson is more dangerous. Harder to guard is Kyrie. That if you don't like your knees or your ankles and you want surgery on them, Kyrie's the perfect excuse. You guard him for sessions and, and you'll get an excuse to go to the doctor and get surgery on your knees and your ankles.
Nah, that's crazy. Surgery is crazy.
So let's move on to the next topic, which T, I'm gonna have you introduce as the big soccer fan of the group. You're gonna introduce the Super League to the audience, and let's talk about how it all is failing right in front of our eyes.
The first day we really gonna talk about soccer on the podcast. Sheesh. Oh man.
Benjamin must be dreaming.
All right. So basically, what happened was with the Super League, owners of some of the most popular teams in Europe, in the Big Five leagues, they wanted to break away from UEFA and the Champions League, that is UEFA, which is like the oldest cup competition in your international cup competition in Europe for clubs. It's also the most popular. So these owners, many of them who aren't even from Europe,
Facts.
they
That's good. That's
thought
good to note.
they thought that they can change the mold and form their own tournament style competition with 15 teams, with 12 teams to potentially 15 teams being permanent members. So for those of us who don't know how soccer is done in majority of the world, there's everything is by sporting merit. If you win, you stay. If you lose, you get kicked out. So in most of the leagues, there's promotion or relegation. If you're in some of the leagues, there are 20 teams, some of the leagues are 18 teams. Usually it's the bottom three teams in each league. If they lose, if they don't have enough points at the end of the season and they're still in the bottom three, they get relegated to a lower division, and three teams in the lower division get promoted. So the Champions League now is usually the top four teams in the top five leagues in Europe, and then they sprinkle in some of the other teams from smaller countries or lower quality leagues like the Danish league, the Swedish league, stuff like that. So what these big guys tried to do was they tried to take the marketing, the money, all the stuff all the viewership that they bring in. They tried to use that as an excuse to say, oh, we're bringing in majority of the money, so we want to start our own thing so that we can keep majority of the money. And not just other teams and other owners, but even these teams own fans. Like, I'm a Manchester United fan. I did not want this Super League bullshit to happen because it builds complacency. You don't want to build a proper squad to compete and be the best. So it builds complacency. So many fans didn't like it. Other owners didn't like it. Even the governments of some of these countries didn't want it to happen. So it became a serious clusterfuck, and it's crazy. So that's how that all transpired, and it broke apart in less than like 4 days.
Yeah. So tell us how it kind of was gaining momentum and then crashed to the ground and burned.
All right. So Florentino Perez is the president of arguably the most popular club in the world, which is Real Madrid. He hit him and the owners of Manchester United, who are also the owners of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Glazers family, they conspired with each other to develop the league. and it gained momentum because a lot of these teams realized like, yo, chances are if we do this, they thought that their fans would be behind them and would support them, and they will all join it together, and they would have no issues. They could leave like the club associations of Europe and all that, and they can build their own version of the Champions League, basically. But
So
when okay, go ahead. Yeah.
today yesterday, I'm sorry, the UEFA president came out and said that all 12 teams who initially said they were going to join will face consequences for
Yeah.
attempting to join the league.
Yes, because basically what they did was it was like a big ass mutiny. They basically tried to rob. They basically tried to commit mutiny and rob the UEFA of potential marketing money and sponsorship money and all of that. So, because so many teams and their fans, because so many fans of these very teams are in the league, hated it and protested against it, teams dropped out, as well as the potential risk that UEFA and FIFA, which is the world's governing body of soccer, saying that players would not be able to play for their national teams or
That's
in
the
the World
toughest.
Cup, which is the biggest tournament in the world. They want to be a part of it because many of the teams in the leagues, the coaches and the players weren't told. It was literally just the owners sitting in a room talking about how they could get more money, and that's what they came up with. And they announced that they would join the team. So the players, coaches, everybody was like, "Nah, that's some bullshit. We don't want it." And in about 48 to 72 hours, the league who they these owners and teams these owners signed contracts for broke apart. Power to the
So
people.
so what's the facts, probably big facts, probably to the people. But what are the repercussions of this? Like,
Is they haven't given us exactly the details of what they're gonna do because it ended up being disbanded. But while they said it was confirmed that Super League was happening. They talked about relegating the teams in their domestic leagues, which is hundreds of millions of dollars potentially down the drain for each of these teams.
mm-hmm.
Talk about kicking them out of Champions League. So these teams, like let's say Real Madrid, I think Chelsea was another one still in the Champions League, and Manchester City still in the Champions League. They were potentially going to be out, and the only other team left in it was Paris Saint-Germain of France. They were going to end up winning the Champions League by default. Like that's how serious it became. They were also thinking about banning what you call it the as I said before, banning the players, even banning the team for a couple years in competition. It was some serious repercussions that was happening that they was talking about, and it's interesting though because the Super League had all the legal rights. You know what I mean? Like they covered their bases legally. There was nothing that could stop them from happening
Mm-hmm.
except the fans said no, we're not doing it. We don't want it. The players said we're not doing it. We don't want it, and they ended up having to disband it.
That's crazy, bro. I saw a video on YouTube just about like venture capitalists and
Mhm.
people with a lot of money just going
Hedge
into
fund managers, all of that.
going into the Champions League space, or maybe just the international soccer league space in general.
Mhm.
A lot of people have totally given up on the American soccer leagues. I don't even know what their acronym is.
In the US, you have Major League Soccer. That's the top division.
Hmm.
That's MLS. You have United Soccer League. That's considered a second division, which is USL. and then there's the North American Soccer League, which is I think they also consider it a second division, which is weird. Only in America, which is the NASL.
Hmm.
So those are the three those are three different leagues. So like you don't get promoted or relegated if you play in MLS.
Mm-hmm.
You I think USL has two or three divisions.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get promoted and relegated within USL. And then they have NASL. I'm not sure if they have promotion or relegation at all, or if they have any other divisions. But those are the main leagues. So it's like it's weird. You have two different leagues considered second division, and within one of the leagues they have a second division. And then you have MLS, which is considered the top of the league. You just have to pay your way in. It's literally the worst thing. You pay to play.
Sound like some United States shit.
Yeah, everything's about money.
But yeah, I was watching and how Ryan Gosling and a partner actually went and bought a team in UEFA, and they were just talking about how
in England
they can modernize the sport and how they could capitalize off the thing, this, that, and the third. But I think anytime anybody who's not invested in like the real culture and the real history of the teams, the clubs themselves, it's gonna go wrong, bro. Because once you start to come in and start to capitalize on what was already natural, things start to go the wrong way, especially when the wrong people are in charge. So I just hope that I'm not too impartial on the Super League, not the Super League, but I just appreciate that, the fans had the last say, and it wasn't just, what I'm saying, if you got the money, you got the power kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's cool.
Like, it's interesting because like even though like these are the owners, like they bought the clubs and they own the clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Like in sports, the fans are how you make your money.
Mm-hmm.
If nobody's watching, the sponsors are not gonna pay to put ads and whatnot on your jerseys and the commercials and whatnot because nobody's watching. So it's a double-edged sword. The owners got the money, they got the power. Yeah, they can buy the best players. They invest in the league and the community and whatnot. But like, if you don't have the support of the people who actually watch the games and watch the teams and buy the jerseys and whatnot, then it's the money. You can't make money.
Facts.
Big
facts.
It's definitely a crazy situation all around.
We should have promotion and relegation in A. Have some G League teams come to the. You know what I'm saying?
That would be crazy. No NBA owner would agree to that.
No tanks, bro.
That's the thing, though. That's why promotion and relegation is so loved by flag soccer fans, because unlike football and unlike basketball, you can't tank. If you tank, you're losing more money by tanking than you are in a potential draft pick you can get.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing in NBA. Like, everything is guaranteed. Like, you could be like, look at the Knicks about 3 years ago, bro. Nobody wanted to see them. Look at Sacramento Kings. Like nobody wanted to see them. Even Oklahoma City, nobody wanted to see them. But guess what? They didn't. The owner not worried because he don't get that league money regardless, because it's a guaranteed.
So before we move off the sports topics, this is your weekly reminder that the Mets have a better record than the Yankees in the MLB. So
first of all, the Mets have the number one record in the NL East.
So we're just gonna put that reminder out there for any Yankees fans that listen to the podcast. Follow the podcast.
You see what I'm rocking, baby. You see it.
The heart's fire though. The heart's fire. I was gonna compliment that earlier.
Yeah, I like that. I'm not paying $50 for no hat though. I ain't gonna hold you. You got money. Let me get $1.
So
send me your Bitcoin address.
What? Bro, that's what we do. That's money laundering, bro. You try to get us in trouble.
I can get the feds on us, bro.
I just want to send you a Bitcoin, bro.
Facts. That's my new thing. Somebody wants some money, send me a Bitcoin address. That's how you get the money.
You got a whole Bitcoin, bro? Send me Bitcoin, bro.
I never said.
Hey, George just said send a Bitcoin.
I never said that.
Hey, I didn't know you had it like that.
I wish I should have bought a whole Bitcoin during his dip, but go ahead, George.
So we're gonna go to a topic that's part sports, part Matrix in the real world, and reality, and whatever you most want to call it. And it's I texted about it in the group chat earlier in the week. And it's about how LeBron's been under fire for sending out his tweet about the police shooting
Oh,
in Columbus,
I'm
Ohio.
weak. I did actually hear about this. This got so big that I heard about it. That's how you know this is so horrible, bro.
Fox News. So I saw I've seen the articles but when I texted about it in the group chat, they were talking about how LeBron spoke out about this, and he still hasn't spoke up about China. And
Mm-hmm.
this was Fox News's point of view for attacking him.
Mm-hmm.
For him speaking up about problems in our country and not the other countries. So
There's so much to unpack there.
is there really a lot to unpack with this topic, or is this just like?
No, I'm not even talking about Fox.
So
I'm not even talking about on Fox side. I'm just talking about him speaking up on China's situation in politically, because the situation in Hong Kong is more complicated than people think. Like Hong Kong has democracy by contract. Like there was an agreement made that they would have a democratically elected representation for a certain amount of years. It's not like China is a democracy. So the people in Hong Kong are protesting because they want to keep that system. But it's not like they have I don't want to say a legal right to, but they don't have the laws that we have here. So if you look at the situation that's happening, the people that are doing this, they can be labeled domestic terrorists. The same way how January 6th, when they invaded the Capitol building, those people are domestic terrorists because they try to change political events in this country. So for LeBron to go, what happened? What's up?
They got 2 more of them today. They arrested 2 more of the people that stormed the Capitol.
Hey, that's 2 more out of like 10,000. So
they thought deleting their Facebook post would delete the evidence.
Wait, hold on. Did y'all see the one about the guy on Tinder? Sure. This
he had it himself
on Tinder, and Shorty said, "You're not my type," and reported him to the feds, and the feds arrested him when he told her that he stormed the Capitol.
He had that shit in his bio or something, didn't he?
Yo,
men are literally the weakest link. We are literally the weakest link, bro.
Yo, man's exposed himself, bro. Oh man. He's like, yeah, I'm in the Capitol. You like that? She said, oh, you're not my type.
Next thing you know, the feds are
got one.
I didn't mean to interrupt you breaking down the Hong Kong situation, but
it relates. But like, yeah, so like these are the things that happening. So for LeBron to speak out on that situation, it's way more complex than just saying like, oh, support Hong Kong, because you want them to. Obviously, in America, like we're pro-democracy. It's really an oligarchy, but they're pro-democracy, so we're gonna support Hong Kong. But on the flip side, though, is would America want the same thing to happen to them as we saw on January 6th? Well, half of the country wouldn't want a civil war to happen with a bunch of domestic terrorists, the breakdown. Like we already went through this, so. It's so hypocritical of people like people these pundits or these so-called people reporters on Fox News to say like, oh, he didn't speak out about something in another country that's happening politically that has no regards to in irrespective of like the human rights situation that's happening here in the United States with police.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Let's think about it. Let's look at all the EU countries that have police forces. I guarantee you, majority of the EU has less police shootings in the last 10 years than the United States has in just last year. Now, let me not say last year because You had
Last
to
year
pat
was an anomaly.
a lot of people was in the crib. Let's say like the last 3 years. I can guarantee
Let's
it.
just say from March till now, honestly.
From March to from how much people got shot by police from March to now? It was like
I don't know, bro. I don't want to
30,
say
40 maybe?
some outlandish number, but
30, 40 maybe? You won't see
it's
those
just
type of numbers
making the
in a
news
single week.
every day, bro.
In England, you're not gonna see 1,000 people get shot in a year. The majority of the police force don't even carry guns.
God forbid we try to take away the police. Honestly, just abolish the police system. Just abolish it, bro. Just burn it down. Just burn it down.
And and it's funny, like I like how you said abolish, bro. They think abolish means get rid of it forever. Like, no, we want to get rid of the ones right now, implement a new type of police force. Like, because obviously the one right now ain't working properly.
It's not working properly, bro. Clearly
Shit,
not.
you got 20-year vets mistaking the pistol for a taser. Like, come on, bro. I've seen a Glock in person. That shit don't it don't look like no taser, bro. And I guarantee it don't feel like one either.
Guarantee the weights are different.
Bro, and it's a fully loaded one. They're not like they're carrying the clips on the magazines on the side, and then they have to insert it, and then you know what I'm saying, like it's fully loaded. You can't tell me a 20 plus year vet on a police force does not know the difference in the weight between a Glock. What's the standard primary gun for police officer? Glock 17? Glock 19?
Unless it changed in the last 5 years, probably the 17.
Glock 17. You can't tell me that gun weighs the same as the standard issue stun gun or taser. Because that's about. Come on now, like what are we really doing here? What are we really saying?
Hi, Jared.
Hi, Jared. Welcome to the podcast.
Building, you already know.
Welcome to the podcast, Jared.
Episode 30. Say what up to the fans.
Here so you won't get fined.
But yeah, bro, I don't know, man. The number of I'm worried about the stories that are not making the news. So many stories are making the news. I'm worried about all the stories that are not making the news. You feel me? Because just the amount of I don't know, bro. I literally just don't know. Like, do they not get it? Like, it shows that when they have these kind of briefings and when police officers are abreast of what's happening in the world in terms of police brutality and the civilian outlook towards police now, it seems like they're emboldening the behavior to continue police the cycle, because it's
always been like that. It's always been like that.
It's just super frustrating, bro.
Like you never seen like the dozens and dozens of cases where there's video evidence of a situation that happens, but when they release the police report, it's nothing like what happened on the video. That's what they do, because that's why they don't really care to have body cameras. They're not gonna say that, oh, we don't want body cameras, but they've already been officers on police unions saying, how are we gonna do our job with the body cameras on? Because they know that they can't abuse their authority and their power while on camera, because when they get caught, they're getting sued and they're getting fired and all the other good things that should happen when you can't do their job. My only issue is why they keep saying shit like this is one bad apple, or they suspending the officer and he getting his job back and this and that. When if you're a pilot, Dave Chappelle said it, if you're a pilot and you fuck up, you're done. You can't be a bad pilot. It's like you'll die. Literally.
I was gonna say that's a tough comparison.
Pilot, like if you're a pilot, you can't land. Like that's it. So you can't be a cop and you go out there, you can't do your job properly, and you still end up on a police force. You can't just keep reprimanding you. So again, I'll say you need a national database that holds the disciplinary record of each cop or all the complaints that he has against them, and then we need to formulate a way to prevent these officers from getting hired in other police precincts and counties and whatever, etc., when they have these type of situations happening.
It's funny you say the whole one bad apple thing and the Andrew Brown case, what happened in Virginia. I don't know if we got that on in the recording, but the dude who ended up passing away, but he ended up getting shot by the cop who dropped him off. 7 deputies were put on probation. 7.
Put on probation?
Yeah.
So wait, is this by like the police department or like did they go
by the department?
Okay, so basically they got paid vacation.
Pretty much, but it's just crazy how like 7 of them got it. Like
I thought only one dude was there.
Exactly.
So that lets you know right there that this is a setup.
1 and 1 is not making 2 right now.
Don't call me a conspiracy theorist when the evidence is right in front of you. It was a setup.
The numbers don't match up. So Jared, before we move on to the next topic, Jared, the reason why we're here is we're talking about how LeBron's under fire again from Fox News for sending out the tweet about the Columbus, Ohio shooting. Do you have any thoughts on this topic?
Hold up, the Columbus, Ohio one, is that the one with the Ma'Khia Bryant?
Yep.
Okay.
So, nope, nothing. Okay. So, moving on to some accountability. The George Floyd trial has come to an end. Derek Chauvin's got all 3 guilty verdicts for his 3 charges. It's a step in the right direction, but it's not all that we need. It's accountability. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? How do you feel? Talk to me.
He was held accountable for his actions by a jury. We'll see what the judge thinks when he gives the sentencing.
After the verdict came out and he got obviously like taken away, there was another incident of his from years ago that came out of him abusing his power, kneeling on a black teenager. And this footage came out shortly right after he became guilty of those 3. So they were talking about how that incident may also be looked at when it comes to deciding his sentence in time.
What a coincidence. He's a repeat offender.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. So they have this on video. So he showed previously that he has a pattern of breaking police protocol because multiple officers, including the chief, said that the kneeling on the necks of suspects who are apprehended is not protocol for that department. Why was he still an officer there? Or why is he still out on patrol and not behind a desk?
Why was he even employed by the police department still?
Something's not adding up.
Bro, you gotta.
That's what I was telling you, y'all. They embolden it. Like they be like, listen. You know this blue line shit. You know we're not gonna cross that. We're gonna let you rock. But bro, you can't do that shit on camera.
We also have to realize that like the quality of person who is becoming a police officer is not that high. Like
I did not say this shit last week that the standards of how smart a cop can be, they like there's a cutoff point.
You can be a cop like right out of high school, and like your whole upbringing and like outlook on life could be through a cop's eyes. So like, I don't know.
Here's my thing, right? Why you have to go? What is it, like 8 years to be a lawyer? Practice law in a court setting, but you can do like 6 months in an academy, maybe 2 years, and at a JUCO, and then 6 months in academy, and you could be a cop, and you still practice law, and you get a gun, and you get a taser, and you get a baton. Like, let's think about that. Cops are literally practicing law every day. Oh, you were speeding. I'm gonna give you a ticket for speeding. You broke the law. You was above the speed limit. Oh, you were littering. You broke the law. That's a $5,000 fine. You know what I'm saying? They're practicing law. So how is it that we giving people who ain't go to law school the ability to practice law and give them a weapon? I'm gonna say a weapon, multiple weapons to enforce these laws that are being broken, or to enforce the laws, period, while people who just want to practice law in a courtroom setting have to go to 4 years of college and then go to law school and pass the bar in order to practice law. Something adding up.
it doesn't make sense, then that's what we always keep. We've
Make
been
it
talking
make
about
sense.
You making too much sense right now, T. I ain't gonna lie.
Make it make sense.
since
I'm
last
just saying.
summer.
I'm just saying. I know. People might probably call me a Euro snob, but I just know in many countries in the EU, you gotta have a degree before you can become a cop. Some of them go through like 3 years of training. 3 years of training, not even just academy. 3 years of training before they become a cop, before they can get a badge, and they gotta pass a psyche valve. Think about that. You know how much cops in this country would not pass a psyche valve?
I don't know,
You
bro.
also have,
Like,
you also have the DOJ saying that white supremacists have infiltrated police forces also all across the America. So,
Huh? Really?
FBI reporting. So I mean, I don't know.
You know,
I feel like that's reason enough to abolish all police forces and then
I agree.
reconstruct a new one. So I'm just saying, you got whole terrorists in the police force. But hey,
Jared.
let's continue going.
one more positive thing that came out from the guilty trial is the Justice Department said they're going to revisit the Breonna Taylor case in hopes of trying to get a charge or something after the guilty verdict. So I guess that's something to keep an eye on. I doubt at this point, but
I know Garland. He's investigating two different police departments right now for their practices. So
Yeah, bro.
DOJ auditing everybody.
I want Breonna Taylor's family to get justice, but right now the focus needs to be on getting to the root of the problem, and the root of the problem is clearly the police system. So I hope we spend more time on that.
You know what's crazy though? I see people posting on Facebook. They be like, "When will it stop?" My first thought that comes to mind, it will stop when we start shooting back.
Relax.
Like, let's think about it. How many armed suspects do not get shot whenever they encounter the police? Like, let's think about it. We've been seeing more unarmed people getting shot from police than we see armed people.
Do you remember last summer? There was this dude. There's this kid actually. This kid in Brooklyn who had a gun. He was running. Had to be like 60-some shots got shot at him, bro. Because he had gotten a shootout in the projects. The police got called. Guess he was still in the area.
That's a bozo.
But he had his gun on him and he was running. Police was not letting up.
That's NYPD though.
Yeah, NYPD go crazy. NYPD, they don't play.
NYPD got their own standard.
It's crazy though. It's crazy though. They go crazy, but they don't make national news.
Bro.
So that's I don't know. I think it has something to do with like the infrastructure here. Like I don't know. Like we should NYPD should make national news. They be on some bullshit. I ain't gonna lie, but
Ja, you know, let me tell you how crazy it is. There's an article here on a report on one NYPD officer who has 42 different complaints of excessive force, including 3 sexual assault cases of anal penetration. So that's 3 rape cases. Yes, 3 rape cases. Yes, 3 rape cases against him. 42 complaints of abuse of force, and he's still on the force. They don't care, bro. They don't care. They don't care, bro.
You know how crazy that is? You almost got Jared to say something.
They don't care, bro. This is what they're doing.
Nah, bro.
A teapot.
Bro, on God, I have it in my bookmark because that was the craziest shit I saw from last year during. I'm like, yo, bro, this man has 3 pending sexual assault complaints against him, and he's still on the force. And 42 other complaints. It can't be all 42 people lying about this one dude.
Nah, dead ass.
It can't be all 42 lying.
Somewhere in there's got to be a guilty verdict,
bro.
So especially the three sexual assault cases, like all these things are private. These are just in his disciplinary record, and they got exposed during that audit. Remember when they was exposing all those the disciplinary records of all the police officers and shit? That's how it got exposed.
The New York Attorney General,
bro.
The Attorney General, by the way, she be putting her foot down. Like
she going after Cuomo, she going after Trump. She got the
She gonna get it done,
NYPD.
bro. She is a
She doing
steward
her
of the law.
job. She doing her job.
Moving on to a later topic. Vaccinated Americans this summer may be able to visit Europe.
That's not gonna end well.
That's while in other countries they're you know how every other country's a wave ahead of us in this thing.
Yeah.
So we're in like the third wave right now. There's countries like India doesn't even have enough
Yeah.
oxygen for the hospitals.
India is going.
And
Man.
Oh,
Japan-
the infrastructure is crazy because of how big that country is.
Yeah,
and-
bro.
Japan's still struggling over there. It's just like, and we're just worried about we can go
Because of
traveling.
how dense Japan. It's crazy. It's how dense Japan is. Brazil still don't have the infrastructure set up to deal with massive COVID cases.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
there was
bro. I don't think this summer is gonna be. I don't know, man. I hope that we don't get hit with another wave this summer, but it's not looking good, man. Like, just because people are vaccinated does not mean COVID went away. Like,
Let's think about all the anti-vaxxers, bro. I swear, we have a critical thinking problem in this country. I will forever say that we have a serious critical thinking problem in this country. People who did not graduate high school are complaining about vaccines and how they work because they don't know how they work. And then it's like, yo, bro, you complain about COVID vaccine, talking about it was done too fast when it wasn't. Talking about you can still get COVID. Yes, same way you can still get the flu, but you just won't die. And then they complain about wearing masks. If you wore the mask in the first place, then we wouldn't have to worry about getting the COVID vaccine because nobody would have had COVID, and you wouldn't have to wear the fucking mask now.
that's what I was thinking about earlier. There was just like a random thought. I was like, think about how entitled we are as Americans, where like a whole pandemic broke out, and people were just like, "No, you're trying to take my rights with the mask. I'm not wearing a mask."
bro,
And like they refused this thing from day one.
What
It's
a mask gonna
because-
do with your rights?
it's because, bro. I don't know where the correlation is.
I don't make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't understand.
I don't know, bro.
Make
I
it
don't
make sense.
even want to unpack it honestly because it's.
I don't have the right to infect other people. That's what they saying.
It's
They
just
make you wear a mask for
it's-
other people's safety. This is what we're doing.
That's what it is. Like, you're wearing it so that if you do have it, or if you're like an unconscious carrier, what is it called?
Asymptomatic.
If you're asymptomatic, like, fam.
As an
Just wear it.
unconscious carrier.
So that's the only parallel I could bring, bro. I didn't know. I feel like it's the same
They
thing.
sleep carrying it.
We're gonna name the episode that.
Unconscious carrier.
It's not that funny. It's not that funny.
Nah, what's
That's
funnier?
hilarious.
What's
They in
gonna
a
be
coma
funnier-
carrying it, bro. You right though. You right.
What's gonna be funnier is me trying to spell unconscious enough times to share this episode.
Yo, chill.
um,
Spell
So-
unconscious.
I mean, it's whatever. Hopefully we can travel, but like you said, it looks like that next wave is gonna be here eventually. Cause
Everybody been traveling though. They've just been going to South American countries.
Isn't that the issue?
they're gonna close the borders eventually on us.
Isn't that
No,
the
they're
issue?
not. No. So let me tell you a quick story.
Okay.
And obviously, whatever. So my friends went to Colombia, and when they went to Colombia, when he came back, he was telling me about the recent shift in Colombia's economy, specifically when it comes to exotic women.
Oh, exotic
Okay.
woman.
Yeah, tourism. Yeah. So they were saying that when they got this crib, I feel like it was Airbnb, and it came with a butler. The butler makes around $150 a month, which I guess is enough it's a decent wage. But the exotic women who they were inviting to the crib They make upwards of $175 a day.
How much?
$175 a day.
Nah, it got to be more than.
Nah. The exchange rate is different.
Why you say it gotta be more?
Hmm?
Why you say it gotta be more?
It got to be more than that, dogs.
Oh, you was paying more for
Nah,
that?
I ain't gonna hold you, Jared. I've been
I did.
watching some YouTube
Whoa,
videos.
whoa, whoa! Why you gotta say? Why you
What you said
gotta
there?
say? I don't know what you're talking about, dog.
Josh said what we were all thinking, but he said
No. Jared, let me tell you something. Right? DR prices and Colombia prices ain't the same, bro. I seen videos on it, especially like the Colombia, Venezuela. Is Venezuela? No, Colombia, Ecuador, and Brazil. And I've seen videos, and they was talking about how that's like the going rate. Like you can get it as low to like $75-$50, which is why I asked before in another situation about DR, and it was like, what's prices? What's like the average in that area? And I thought it would have been like $75, and I was informed from a certain individual that it was more, which is why I believe you said is more. It gotta be more than that in Colombia, but I'm telling you, it can get down to that.
Oh well, I wouldn't know. I didn't go to Colombia, so.
I just think it's interesting that during the pandemic, that's what what I'm saying, the citizens have had to, what I'm saying, just pivot into a different industry. So they say.
Yo, what you mean pivot, dog? That shit been there.
Nah, they say that's the oldest profession in the world.
I mean,
Yo,
facts, but
I
still,
should
said-
been there, bro.
you don't think that the increase in those kind of workers happened because of the pandemic? You don't think that?
hell no.
Okay.
I would say yes and no, because at any point in time someone can join that industry. You know what I mean?
But if
But that don't mean that's the everyday thing. That's the 9 to 5.
okay,
You know what I'm saying?
so. Similar to what we're talking about, but this is just another off like thought I had throughout the week. So I never looked at it this way, and this is why this is funny to me. So, I saw a girl in OnlyFans call herself a content creator, which that's what she is, but I never looked at it that way. So when I first read it, I chuckled a little bit because I was like when I think of a content creator, I don't think of an OnlyFans account. Like that's just not my first thought.
A YouTube vlog?
Like so, it was just a weird way. It was just a different perspective.
it's not a different perspective, dog. She just don't want to call herself a sex worker. It's fine.
Okay, so I'm not tripping by not like viewing them as content creators.
No, anybody, bro. We're content creators. We're creating podcasts.
No,
And
but that's what, like I think of like YouTubers as content creators, like stuff like that. Like Josh said, like I never thought of like a sex.
Technically not wrong.
No, like technically I could see it, but it's like I'm just not comfortable addressing it as that.
Yeah, I can see it, and I don't know. I take back what I said. That was nice. Like you can call yourself whatever you want, honestly, but come on, like let's like if we're gonna do it, let's not cap. Let's just do it. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, at least she didn't cap. Technically,
I have nothing against people with OnlyFans. Now, if your OnlyFans is trash, that's a different story. You feel me?
or
Hey.
you don't know your.
Or you don't know your worth.
All this.
We're gonna move on. I'm gonna move us on from the topic.
Hey,
Gotta know your worth.
I just want to I don't know if you guys watched the Oscars last night. I just wanted to gauge your opinion, see how you guys like if you guys had any opinions on it. So what the Oscars did last night. What happened?
Who won the best movie?
Nomadland. That's what I started watching earlier. I didn't get to finish it, but it was an indie film that made it to theaters earlier this year. Actually, it didn't make it to theaters. It had an exclusive deal with Hulu, and it won Best Film. So
Nope.
I don't know if you guys saw the recent backlash today for the Academy. What they did was, so obviously Chadwick was a front runner for Best Actor. So usually when
Which
the
movie?
Chadwick was a front runner for Best Actor.
For which movie?
Whatever his last role was before he
Uh,
passed.
had to be that war
Because-
movie.
Yeah, that's what it
The
was.
horror movie.
The
The
war
war
movie.
movie.
Oh, the war movie.
So I didn't see that.
Was it the Five Bloods?
Yeah, Five Bloods.
Oh, is that okay? I was like, Ma Rainey, bro, really? But
No,
he did
it
Five
was.
Bloods.
No, it was Ma Rainey. It wasn't the
It was
movie.
Ma
It was
Rainey's
the-
Black Bottle,
Yeah,
and he's
that was when he
getting
was.
actor for that.
So he was a front runner. Everyone thought he was going to get the Heat Ledger treatment. So what the Academy did last night, the normal way the show ends is Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Film. So last night for the first time ever, they changed the order, and it was Best Film, Best Actress, Best Actor.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended the show with the Best Actor, and they gave it to Anthony Hopkins for his role in The Father, which I didn't see either, but he played an elderly man with Alzheimer's, and just yeah. So they ended the show by giving Anthony Hopkins the Oscar over Chadwick, and then Anthony Hopkins wasn't even there to accept the award. So it was like, here's Best Actor, and the show ended. So no, it's like there was no one there to accept it for him, and they also did not have anybody in attendance representing Chadwick, which was another weird thing. So they kind of gave that away when they were announcing the nominees. But it was just like, you don't get what?
Why did it get backlash?
It was just kind of like the way they presented it all, and it was very anticlimactic. They set it all up like we're gonna honor him, he's gonna get it, and then it was just.
Bro, just because he dead doesn't mean he was the best actor in the movies for that.
I agree with you. I just wanted to know if you guys saw it, if you guys read up anything about it, or whatnot.
I didn't know that happened.
Yeah,
but
it was.
I don't see the hype that he gets for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Like that was regular Chadwick every day in movies, bro. He was good in it, but Oscar for best actor nomination.
You know when people pass away, their stature just it grows. You know what I'm saying? I didn't watch Ma Rainey's, but I'm sure Chadwick did a great job. So I guess.
Yeah, he did a great job, but there was other people in there acting that did just as well.
But Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was a pretty popular movie. There be people who get Oscars for roles that I don't even see, so I can see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a film savant in any way. I don't really. It's not my thing. So
I mean, I've seen it. That's why I'm like,
okay.
He got nominated for that movie. You know what I mean?
I'm
sure. I can't remember what another movie came out that year. I think he was better in terms of acting, and he didn't get nominated for that. But I mean,
I just wanted to bring it up and basically say the Academy shot themselves in the foot with it, and
yeah,
they did that shit to themselves.
They should have just kept the real format. I don't know. Did you watch the Grammys, George?
I did not watch the Grammys. No.
I don't watch that shit.
I was gonna ask if it was a better spectacle than the Grammys, but that's what it is.
I haven't watched the Grammys since they gave Macklemore a Grammy over Kendrick. Who else had the album that year? It was Jay-Z. Drake wasn't even nominated.
Yeah, Drake wasn't nominated. That's crazy.
It was Take Care, right?
No, Nothing was the. I think it was Nothing was the same.
I don't know.
Nothing was the same.
Yeah.
Oh, but Macklemore.
No, word to Joe Budden. That award show don't mean shit. You just need the nominate. The award show doesn't mean a thing. You just need the nomination. No one cares about the wins.
Facts. Because then you get to put Grammy-nominated artists.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go into our last topic, the new music and media. Obviously. John, you can tell us about a book you've been reading.
I did. I told us that was at the top of the show. I told you about.
That was a prelude, bro.
That was the prelude, bro.
That was the pre. I'm telling George that was the prelude.
No, I know, but I'm saying he read another book.
Are we releasing it? So I was reading Color of Law. I finished reading.
That's what I was trying to get at. He was reading another book.
Power versus Force.
Power versus Force.
I finished reading this during Ramadan. This was a really good book. I recommend this to.
Yo, John, let me get that.
I ain't gonna lie, you might have to buy your own, bro.
That's a
Okay,
limited
read it
edition,
one
y'all?
time and give it back to you.
Huh?
I mean, read it one time and give it back to you.
Bro, if you read it, you're not gonna want to give it back to me. That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to give it back to you. I promise.
All right, but you're not. All right, all right, okay.
Scout's
Um,
honor.
I'm going to Harlem tomorrow, so I'll give it to you tomorrow.
All right.
All right. Anyway, if I read this book, I got introduced to it by somebody who said that Nipsey Hussle recommended it. I did a little bit of research, and I found the interview about Lauren London, and she was pretty much talking about how he would recommend this to everybody who he loved in his life, and it just expanded their worldview. It talked about so the title is Power versus Force: the hidden determinants of human behavior, and it kind of calibrates different emotions on a scale of 1 to 1,000, and at the scale of 200 is when you start operating in power. So 200 is courage, and that's when you start operating in power, and everything under that, like grief, jealousy, anger, is calibrated below that, and that would be force. The main thing of the book is pretty much to kind of walk you through exactly what he's trying to say, how he did it, and then how to kind of fix your life if you want to become, I guess, more enlightened. The highest people that we find in our lives are calibrated at a higher level, like Buddha, Jesus Christ, um, Gandhi. Like those kind of people were the most enlightened. So I think it's a good book. I want to reread it, but I guess I'm giving it to Jared, so I'm not gonna see it for another year.
No, you see it. You
Bro,
gonna see it.
bro, it's dense. Bro, let's play a game. Well, I'm gonna play a game. I have a list of words that I found in that book that I don't know the definition to. I'm gonna just give you 2 words. The first one is myopic. Who can tell me the definition of myopic?
I know that word.
Next.
Okay, cool.
I know the word though.
And next word is inculcates. Can anyone tell me the meaning of inculcates?
No, I don't know.
Cool. Nice. Can anyone tell me the definition of vicissitudes?
Vicissitudes?
Yes.
Do you have any 2-syllable words? 1-syllable words?
Oh, yes, I do, actually. So the next one is milieu.
You said mildew?
Milieu.
Milieu?
Yes.
You sure you pronouncing some of these words correctly?
Bro, I'm pronouncing it correctly, bro.
I'm just saying.
So it's a dense book, you feel me? And the author, he writes like he's, I don't know, like he's vomiting a dictionary. So it was cool. It's a
T.I.
cool
wrote
book. Huh? Who?
I asked if T.I. wrote it.
He might as well, bro. Honestly.
Jared said you have to give him that book expeditiously.
Expeditiously. But yeah, enough of the boring book stuff. Let's talk about like hood rat shit.
Music wise,
Bro.
I didn't have a crazy week with music, honestly. I won't lie to you. I didn't get to. I slept on the Moneybagg Yo album. I haven't got to that yet.
Did Silk Sonic drop the album yet?
Who?
Silk Sonic.
Ah, yes, there we go.
Did they?
I don't know.
I refreshed myself on the meaning of myopic, y'all.
Break it down for us, Chief. No, they did not drop it yet.
It has multiple meanings, but I mean we're beyond that, so.
But I did watch the first half of Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna finish it tonight. I fell asleep last night. And obviously I finished The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I finished that too.
How'd you feel about how it ended, T? You like the last episode, Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I have no issues with how it ended. I'm kind of upset that Carly died instead of, going to the raft. But I mean, a lot of people didn't care for her character because they don't have the critical thinking skills to understand how characters affect each other in shows. But hey,
I have a feeling you just spoiled this for Jared.
he didn't watch it. He didn't watch it, bro. It's Monday night, bro. Why you ain't watch it yet?
Oh, my bad. I had a busy weekend.
I actually I actually consumed some media. I am up to date on the Dragon Ball Super manga, and if anyone here is a Dragon Ball Super fan, I highly recommend you read the manga. It's fire.
You not supposed to catch up on no media, Ja.
I mean, I finished the show, the series.
Yeah,
So.
at the Tournament of Power, that it doesn't stop there, bro. Read the manga, bro. I promise you, bro.
No, doesn't he fight? Doesn't he fight some dude that looks like a horse with horns?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that after the Tournament of Power? I mean, that's supposed to be before the Tournament of Power, but didn't that come out after the tournament? Like
No,
that?
it's after the Tournament of Power.
Oh, that part is after the Tournament of Power. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then.
But anyway, yeah, that's okay.
All right. But yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah, I finished that too. That's what happened. I'm a bit upset that happened. I'm not gonna give any details because Jared didn't watch it. So, but yeah, I feel like it ended on a correct note. You know, he did what he did and got what he got, and took what he took as he should have. And all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna give you one more spoiler, Jared. Bucky gets invited to the cookout. That's the last one. He gets invited to the cookout. They let him bring food too, so you know he's valid. I mean, he brought a cake that was pre-made, but they let him bring it, so he's still valid.
I'm excited that they're gonna continue the story.
I am too.
What happened with the Young Thug Deluxe? Nobody listened to Young Thug Deluxe?
Bro,
Anyway, I did watch Mortal Kombat 2, George.
So, Ja, respectfully,
Nah,
I
don't
struggled
like it.
getting through the first 21 songs. The album was not paced well when it was very top heavy the first half
Mm-hmm.
of the original album. Like the features were really good and that, but like after like the first 12 songs, the second half was not nearly as enjoyable as the first half. I'm not listening to that full deluxe. I cannot do 30. It's 32 songs, I think. 31.
To be honest, the only song that I like from the deluxe is the one with Jim Jones.
Okay, I might check that one out.
Other than that, they can keep it.
That's just too much Young Thug for me, bro. I like Young
And
Thug.
the Moneybag Yo album was very good.
Yeah, I'm a Moneybag got a fan of me now.
I've been hearing a lot of good things about Moneybag recently, so he'll probably be like the 7th or 8th thing I listen to like in May, but I'll listen to it.
Jeez, what else you got to listen to? How many other albums dropped?
No, I got a lot to listen to, bro.
He's got a lot of podcasts to listen to, bro. He's only like.
Oh, that's what you meant?
You gotta think about it. Ja's already like 20 hours behind in Joe Budden like content.
I thought he meant just music specifically.
And I'm a friend of the show, Patreon supporter.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. You're 20 hours behind.
Even more, bro.
This man Ja's gonna have to spend the full 2 days just watching Joe Budden and listen to him speak.
Whatever. That's it. That's all you got.
That's all I got. You guys have anything else you want to touch on? Jared, do you have any topics you want us to touch on?
Nah, I came in late, so I'll take my punishment.
He's gonna take my punishment. What punishment you talking about?
Offer it, bro. Like,
say what you gotta say.
wait. Before you go, Jared, we're gonna revisit something you wanted to talk about real quick, and you're not allowed to explain why. You're only allowed to give the name. You're only allowed to give the name. Who's the best offensive player in the NBA?
You said what?
Who's the best offensive player in the NBA?
Right now?
Yes, right now.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, so I guess we got our first topic for next week. We're gonna have to revisit this.
Okay.
All right.
You said right now, right?
Yeah, right now. I said Harden. Ja argued KD. T argued Jokic.
I don't know how he's laughing. Jokic.
Oh yeah, we got smoke next week for sure.
Yeah, he laughing. I don't know how.
We got smoke next week for sure.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's episode 30 of the Overthinking podcast.
Oh wait, hold up.
Coffee tape. I'm gonna get some water.
We gotta talk about. No, there's this new show called The Nevers. I don't know if y'all seen it. It's on HBO. It's actually pretty fire. We gotta tune into that. I don't know why John left. That's what I was gonna talk about. I didn't look at those songs or the coffee tape. But since he said that, Now I'm gonna look at tracks for the coffee tape.
Give
You
us
see
two.
this?
Give us
Huh?
two. Give us
That's
two.
two. I'm gonna give you
Yes.
2 of 4, right? So there's hold on. There's some remixes in here as well. You have Alkaline Side Chick. It's fire track for a coffee tape. You have Wi-Fi by Dexter Daps. Dexter Daps. Dexter Daps is one of the people that you have to have with a coffee tape. He drops a lot of coffee tape esque music. Just letting you know. Chris Brown, Lady in the Glass Dress. That's a good song for your coffee. Miguel, the girl with the dragon tattoo. I'm sorry, I'm about to say the girl with the dragon tattoo. The girl with the tattoo. That's fire, bro. That's a fire song for your coffee tape. I'm gonna go some old school tracks though. These
Where'd Jared go?
Yeah, he's still here, but he just don't want to be seen.
Oh.
He's still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh. I can't remember the name of the artist specifically. But I'm trying to remember. I know the song is Brown Eyes. Pretty Brown Eyes. I can't remember the name of the artist specifically. I'm trying to find it.
Isn't it amazing that we do the sleeper section without actually doing the sleeper section?
There's a sleeper
just-
section?
It's just T does all the sleepers for us.
Are you talking about songs?
Yeah.
Hey, shit. Jeremiah Wee. I mean, I said we. Yes. Yes. It's we in French, but yes. Yeah, that's a good track. Good track as well. Egyptian Hold You. I don't know if I put that out on Twitter yet. Make sure I follow the Twitter at Overthinking Hours. Egyptian Hold You is a great track for your coffee tape. Jacquees Peace. Your
Yo, bro.
Peace.
Yo, bro. Work with me real quick. Can you?
All right. My fault. I was getting too much into it. Hold on, let me give you one more.
Yo, he gave like
Vibes Cartel, Breathless.
oh.
He's gonna count to 2 for us after this. So we can figure
I got
out.
like 500 songs on my own personal coffee tape, bro.
All right, he said give
One
not
more-
10.
One more song. This one I gotta say, because I'm a big Vibes Cartel fan. That's why DJ based on Vibes Cartel. Vibes Cartel, Breathless. That's the next one. That's the last one for the night.
That's it.
Vibes Cartel, Breathless. All right,
All
relax.
right, T.
You can't go to
Before-
sleep, bro.
T, before we go, count to 2 for us real quick.
Number 2.
Yeah, count to 2.
Alright. Got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, 12. Yeah, got you.
All right, thank you. All right, so now that's episode 30 of the Overthinking Hours podcast. Thank you guys for another week. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe, join the conversation. We're out of here.